In this movie, we're going to look at post.php and look through each section and see the way that it works. To begin with, we start the session and load the common functions in forum.inc, and then we check to make sure the user's logged in. If they're not, we bounce them back to the entrance page right at the beginning of the website. If no thread ID has been specified, and this post is not the first post of a new thread, which it would be if, for instance, we had just come from the main page. Let's take a look at the thread listing, the main page, and if we roll our mouse over post new thread and then examine the address that comes up at the foot of the browser, the variable new thread is appended to the address post.php, and the value of new thread is set to true. So if it comes in with a new thread set to true, then a box is shown where the title of the thread can be added. However, what this condition is asking is if there's no thread ID, then that's a problem unless we're creating new thread. And if those things are both false, then it bounces the user out. This function trims off any white space at the beginning or end of the body, white space being trailing space characters or line breaks or tab characters, and so on. If there is indeed a body has been submitted to this page, now the body variable is submitted down here in this field here in a form, and this is the post text that is entered by the user, and then when they submit the form calls itself. So if we go back up to the top, we can see that if the body variable has been set, then we must have just come from the form, in which case we need to add slashes to the body to escape any problem characters like apostrophes, then connect to the database, then the code will branch again depending on whether a post ID has been specified. Now if a post ID has already been specified, then we know that the user has come from a different place to arrive at this page. We know that the user has chosen to edit one of their posts and therefore is simply asking for the contents of the body field to be updated with the new data that they've just put in on the form. So that's what we do with this line. We use an update query to add the new data to our MySQL database. And provided that that works, we go on to set up the page post updated as the title, and we let the user know that they've updated their post as they wished, and we give them the links so that they can go back to either view the thread in context, the links are up here, view the thread in context, check out all the threads on the Great Debate, or log out and log in as a new user. Now, if no post ID has been delivered, then we move on to this branch, and once again it immediately branches. If we're starting a new thread, then we have to set up a new record on the threads table, and so we use this query to insert a new record into the threads table. Then we have to find the thread ID of the new thread, and because thread ID is an auto increment field, the maximum thread ID will be the thread that we've just added to the table. So we register the thread ID variable and move on. Now, if the user was not posting a new thread but simply posting a reply to an existing thread, then This is the point at which the two paths of the script rejoin. And we run an insert query, and this inserts the post that the user has just specified in the form at the foot of this script. Given that that goes through successfully, we then want to update the users table to increase the specific user who has just added the post, increase their total posts column by 1. Then we need to tell them that they've successfully added their post, and we can exit the script. Give them the links to go to wherever they want to in the site, and then exit.